Hello everyone, my name is Magana and my presentation today will be on alcohol. And before I get started, I have to warn you that there's a few words I have a really difficult time pronouncing, so work with me here. So I'm going to start with the pharmacological considerations of alcohol, and we will start with dosage and composition. In alcohol, the organic molecules assembled from carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen atoms. Alcohol is called ethanol when two carbons are present, which is the form of alcohol contained in drinks like wine, liquor, and beer. The chemical composition of ethanol. The molecular formula is a C2H6O, indicating that ethanol contains two carbons and oxygen. The structural formula, C2H5OH, indicates that there is a hydroxyl group at the end of the two-carbon chain. The OH group is characteristic of all alcohols. And there is the image of the composition and molecules to your right. The frequency or patterns of use. The number and rate of drinks at which a person consumes influences definitely how much alcohol enters the brain. A standard drink in the U.S. is a drink with 14 grams, which is equal to 0.6 fluid ounces of pure alcohol, which is found in 12 ounces of regular beer at 5% alcohol, 5 ounces of wine, typically 12% alcohol, and 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits, about 40% alcohol. So we have different categories of drinking, if you could say. The first one is a moderate alcohol consumption, and that would be 1 drink per day for women, 2 drinks per day for men. Low-risk drinking and alcohol use disorder. For women, it's no more than 3 drinks on any single day or 7 drinks per week. For men, it's no more than 4 drinks on any single day or 14 drinks per week. Binge drinking, that drinking that brings blood alcohol concentration to 0.08 grams of alcohol. It's for women, it's 4 drinks in 2-hour frame, and for men, it's 5 drinks in a 2-hour frame. For an extreme binge drinker, the high peak alcohol concentrations, for women, it's 8 or more drinks. Men, it's 10 or more drinks. And the heavy drinking is binge drinking 5 or more days in the past 30 days. And to your right, you will see that image showing you the different sizes of the drinks and the percentages of alcohol. The method of administration. So the most common is orally, because you drink the alcohol or the drink that contains the alcohol. I learned that you cannot also consume alcohol by inhalation, by heating up the alcohol and inhaling the vapors, by injection, and also rectally. Mixing alcohol with other drugs definitely can cause a number of things. And these are the following: nausea, vomiting, headaches, drowsiness, fainting, loss of coordination, risk of internal bleeding, heart problems, difficulty breathing, and if somebody that is taking prescribed medication and drinks at the same time, the medication will definitely be less effective, useless, or even toxic for the person's body. Physiological aspects. So the absorption process, how the body takes in the alcohol. When swallowed, the alcohol is diluted by gastric juices in the stomach. The small portion of alcohol is diffused into the bloodstream directly from the stomach wall, but most passes through the pyloric junction into the small intestines, where it's rapidly absorbed. The rates of the absorption. Strong alcohol drink taken on an empty stomach may cause a spasm of the pylorus, which is the opening from the stomach into the small intestine. This will definitely prevent passage to small intestine, which will make it a slower overall rate of absorption. Presence of food in the stomach, especially fatty foods, will delay the absorption and the effect of the alcohol. But carbonated alcohol, like champagne or alcohol taken with soda water, will be absorbed more rapidly, and the effects will be felt that way too. Also, the emotional state of the drinker affects the rate of absorption. And here again is an image of the absorption process. Distribution. Alcohol is distributed throughout the water in the body. Most tissues are exposed to the same concentration of alcohol as blood, such as heart, brain, muscles, and the liver is greatly exposed since blood is received directly from the stomach and small intestines via the portal vein. Alcohol diffuses rather slowly, except into organs with rich blood supply, such as the brain and lungs. The metabolism process. Ethanol diffuses from the capillaries, which are with the concentration gradient, into the major cells of the liver. In the liver, some of the ethanol is converted or detoxified by enzymes to inactive products. And here to your right, you'll see the image of that process. Okay, here we go with the difficult words, and I apologize in advance. Alcohol is metabolized in 2 stages. So before we talk about the 2 stages, I have to tell you that the metabolism of alcohol is a way of turning off the action drug, and it helps to convert the drug into a more water-soluble form that can be carried in the bloodstream to the kidneys for excretion. So in stage 1, alcohol is metabolized in the liver. The alcohol dehydrogenase, which is ADH, accelerates the oxidation of ethanol to acetaldehyde. The primary site of oxidation of alcohol is the liver, and some alcohol is also oxidized in the stomach as well. Alcohol dehydrogenase accelerates the oxidation of ethanol to acetaldehyde. This process is pretty toxic and is responsible for that ugly feeling of the hangover, which is a feeling of headaches, increased heart rate, and nausea. In stage 2, acetaldehyde dehydrogenase. This enzyme metabolizes acetaldehyde to acetic acid. Acetic acid is converted into carbon dioxide and water in the cell. Alcohol that is not metabolized in its first passage through the liver continues to circulate throughout the body as an active drug. So ultimately, only a small fraction of the ingested alcohol escapes metabolism. This small amount of alcohol, which is 5 to 10%, is eliminated unchanged in the breath as vapor or in the urine. So generally, males metabolize alcohol more efficiently than females, since males have more and very active ADH in the stomach and liver. And of course, the body size and the weight influences this process. Excretion. So now the remaining alcohol in the body will be eliminated by expelling the waste matter in a person's breath, sweat, feces, urine, and saliva. Body reactions to alcohol consumptions, and of course this varies depending on the person, but the symptoms usually experienced with alcohol consumption depend on the amount of alcohol consumed also. Some short-term effects of alcohol use are vision impairment, slurred speech, lack of coordination and balance, shifts in moods, memory lapses, and slowed breathing. Psychological aspects. So if there's previous drug use experiences, a person who abuses alcohol has a greater risk of using other or at least one other drug like marijuana, nicotine, cocaine, and other heavier drugs. Alcohol and drug use can start out as a social thing or mild problem, but can easily and gradually turn into a severe problem. Over time, with drug and alcohol use, a person's body can become dependent on the alcohol and drug chemicals to a point where body starts to build tolerance and then will crave more and more of the drugs and alcohol and become addicted to stronger, more dangerous substances. The expectations and mood. There is a long-standing association with people consuming alcohol to regulate emotional experiences by thinking that alcohol will help decrease the negative emotions and enhance the positive ones. This is temporary. There is a lot of research that outlines the motives for people to drink. So the social is associated with moderate use of alcohol. Enhancement, which is improving quality of life or experiences, is associated with heavy drinking. And coping is associated with alcohol-related problems or life situations. The expectations about these perceived reasons and consequences of drinking alcohol affects people making the decision to start drinking. They become regular drinkers and dependent on it. So alcohol is commonly viewed as a way to increase feelings of pleasure and positive social moods. However, heavier or more frequent consumption of alcohol will trigger negative emotions like aggression, violence, and eventually depression. Task impact, as you can see to the right, definitely if you are, partying all week, and then on Monday, you're definitely not going to feel your best. Alcohol causes damage to the function of the central nervous system, which will definitely affect a person's actions and decision-making abilities. Drinking makes it challenging for a person under the influence to create long-term memories and reduces the ability for the drinker to clearly make rational choices. Alcohol use and abuse makes it difficult for your brain to create long-term memories and reduces a person's ability to think clearly and make rational choices. Over time, there is damage to the frontal lobe, which is the part of the brain that controls important cognitive skills. And it's also the area responsible for short-term memory, which controls emotions, judgment, and other vital roles in a person's body. Consequences would be missing work and school, late to work and school, looking tired and worn, lack of follow-through, and forgetfulness, and not meeting deadlines. And this image shows the other physical factors or areas that are affected by alcohol drinking or abusing it. Environmental, the environment in which people live and work definitely influences those social companions. That Friday night happy hour becomes a regular thing. So definitely, environment influences the use of alcohol. The acceptance by society is huge. The availability, price, number of places to purchase it, and, people that are serving the alcohol, not following certain rules, allowing younger people to use alcohol. Advertising and marketing, public policies regarding alcohol, people not enforcing those. And then socially, through mass media, glorified drinking by sports figures and celebrities, role models for our youth. And there's a lot of it promoted in the, social world, movies, videos, music, and television. Peers definitely influence that drinking, and alcohol advertising has definitely created that message socially that it's accepted and that it's a good way to enjoy yourself and have fun. And that's it for today. These are my references. I hope this was useful. Thank you.